Well, hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on this extraordinarily special Hump Day edition of Un Poco Moss. I want to talk with you. It's a rare day indeed. I used to talk about SoFi Technologies Incorporated every single day of the week. Literally, I pumped that stock from like $4 over and over and over again. I was just saying the same exact things, just to a boring, repetitive, middle-aged, chunky stock monkey, DJ Patchy Drizzle, getting up and just repeating the same things over and over and over. SoFi's undervalued. SoFi's grossly undervalued. Why am I so fat? Oh, anyway, welcome and hello, guys. Hello and welcome. It's Un Poco Moss, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Let me share my screen with you. SoFi, very, very strong on the day. You guys remember this shark tooth pattern, this sort of algo run accumulation pattern that just has these very predictable spikes at that are very steep. It's unusual. It's not an organic trading pattern. And this used to kind of trade sideways and down all the time. Now you see today it traded basically sideways and up, kind of the opposite of what it did, and far more dramatic. Popped down off the open from 1550 all the way down to $15.18 area. Not sure, 15.16 looks like was the low of the day, and then just accumulation all day long, guys. And it doesn't matter where you look, the institutional ownership, the sort of short long stuff, the put call ratios long term, everyone's bullish on SoFi. It's happening exactly like we said it was going to happen. The institutions flipped it. It didn't matter when EPS turned positive. It didn't matter when it was listed in any particular index. It just mattered when the smart money that runs the markets wanted to flip the stock and move it up. And so the question I'm getting constantly right now is, hey, I missed this one. I missed the run on Palantir. A lot of people on the interwebs, the U-turd community, the FinTurd mafia, they're saying, hey, go ahead and buy SoFi here. It's still going to go higher. I think it's stalled out a little bit here at 16. I think it's more likely than not that it's going to break through the 1650 area and move higher to sort of a $20.88 area. However, you could see a pullback. So I might wait and either buy at 17 or hope to buy maybe in the 14 area, but just doesn't look like that pullback is coming. Buying pressure comes in. We just had more good data that said, inflation is in the expected range. So it looks like another rate cut is probable for next month, which is, of course, very, very good for SoFi. New administration is going to be very good for SoFi, less regulation, no problems with student loans, et cetera, and just, favorable conditions for banks, for lenders, for financial services, for business in general. So would I buy SoFi at 16? I would definitely consider buying it if I didn't have a position, if I want to hold long term, if I'm not the kind of person that sees it go from 16 to 12 and has a heart attack. If I'm the kind of person that loves the stock and thinks it's a good value at 16, it goes to 12, double and triple your position. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I was doing when it went from, 6 to 450. But, we just don't live in those absurd times anymore. Where this stock is down in that valuation. I read something a little while ago, just today, that said, they're expecting 67 cents in 2027 EPS, and then, $1.50 by 2023 or something. I'm like, that's not what management said. Management said 55 to 80 cents by 2026. I'm actually expecting closer to $1 in 2026, and this is sort of the key for me to unlocking SoFi's valuation is the intangibles. It's basically their ability to innovate, their ability to use AI. Derek White was finally talking about AI the other day. Tanner had a good recap, and also I think Tevis was also in on the fun. The entire core of the Canadian FinTurd mafia. There's not enough fat people on those shows anymore. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. Let's see. We got LB in the house. Oh, no worries, man. or woman, whoever you are, LB. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. I positioned my calls in March, count for getting 2025. Yeah, I've got a lot of calls. 2026 pushing out even further now. I just keep trying to I was taking some profits on calls and I pushed out to some further dated leaps because I just want exposure to SoFi. I have a lot of long shares also, just straight up shares. But I just want more and more exposure to this company. The more I see, the more that, and the key, guys, is the EPS ramp. And the key to that is these these high margin products we're talking about, the fees from the loan platform. And also, of course, we hope Galileo ramps customers, a lot of these things, the cross-selling, the lower customer acquisition costs, the more you cross-sell, the better margins you're going to get. The less stock-based compensation. You notice we don't really talk about that anymore because revenues have gone up to an extent that's kind of normalized. So a lot of the things that, the bears were talking about have just sort of, faded away, gone by the wayside, because they were never big problems to begin with. They were expected with small companies that were growing rapidly. And, obviously management had it under control. And, the bears were completely wrong. And, us bulls were right. And, I'm glad you guys hung in the stock. The stock just doubled. Now, am I going to say chase this thing in? Because they're still, not giving it that tech AI valuation. Why not? Well, let's be fair. We haven't seen those revenues yet, guys. We haven't seen a lot of revenues from Galileo. We haven't seen a lot of revenues from these loan platforms. We haven't seen a lot of revenues from anything like AI based. So far, the bulk of the revenues are coming just from conventional lending, financial services, banking services, swipe fees. It's just bread and butter stuff. So I think, I'm not upset. I was saying, 1380 raised my, bull case, my price target to $21. But I'm really not upset at $16. And, essentially, why do I think this thing's going to break through? I mean, it was held down for a long, long time. There's a lot of buying pressure coming in. It's stalling out right at the lower levels of these troughs where, the stock found support for a long, long time. And, is now finding a little bit of resistance. But that's to be expected. This is the mirror image of what happened here. I expect another big move to the upside. Why would this stock move down when there's nothing but tailwinds behind it? There's nothing but innovation. There's nothing but excellence. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. But I'm kind of, dodging the question of I don't know. Should you buy here? That's a personal thing. That's a time horizon thing. If you're like a swing trader, if you're a momentum trader, I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying here, in all honesty. I want to see it, like I said, break down this area, get clear of this, get closer to, the 1750 level where you get out of the weeds here, you get out of some of the chop, you find some clearer sailing. But again, I can't say. I definitely don't think the stock is overvalued here for where you're going to see growth. I think you're going to see a lot of growth in high margin areas, some of which we don't even really know about yet. But that's just kind of a cop out. Anyway, so I don't know, guys. I have so many shares. I'm overloaded. So, yeah, it's still so fly, but as like I said, we're kind of stalling out here at the $16 area. We're trying to break through, but yeah, I think we're still so fly. Sold shares. He's busy. No, not a lurker's been just working his ass off. He's just taking a little bit of R&R, so much deserved. Guy's been working too hard. No, he's not even shaving his head. I hope he's resting. What's up, Joy Luna? Good to see you. Let's see. Thanks for the public service. Thanks a lot, Carl. I appreciate that was the whole goal, guys. I kept saying, don't sell the dip and smell the rip. That was a phrase I made up. I thought it was funny. I don't think anybody else has said it. I think I made it up. But anyway, retail, so often they just scare the living hell out of you. You sell the dip and you smell the rip. Think if you'd have dumped your SoFi down at 5 when they wanted you to, and now it's sitting here at 16, you would have given up a 3x in just a couple years. I mean, you would have given up a double in just a couple months. That's what they wanted you to do. They beat the hell out of you. I'm your bodyguard. I'm your fat buddy. I'm the big brother you never had. I'm just trying to keep these guys off you. Keep the FUD off you. Keep the bullies off you. Keep these idiots in the blogosphere and all these websites off you. Just give you the facts. Like, hey, they're shorting. This is what's happening. They're holding it down. The numbers look good. The growth is solid. Management's telling you the truth. I was saying that because that's what I saw, and that's where I was putting my money. And I still have a lot of my money in the stock. Haven't sold any of my long shares. I sold some calls that were coming due this March, only because I don't like to hold calls, close to their expiration, because I just have, I have bad experience doing that. So if I was sitting on 300% profit, I'm like, just going to take some profit, bought some more leaps. So anyway, guys, I don't know. Valuation concerns, I think it's overblown. It was extremely undervalued. You could say it's kind of more fairly valued now. That's no reason not to buy it, because, they say it's priced to perfection. That's what Bank of America just said. Baloney. NVIDIA's priced to perfection. Palantir's priced to perfection. SoFi is finally priced just somewhat reasonably. The SPAC offering price was 10, like 4 years ago. $6 worth of growth for this level of execution, reinventing the entire business, this business model, already making a profit, the types of partnerships and decisions we've seen, how good management is. I mean, say, 60% run off that SPAC price in this many years. This is not overvalued. And I know people point to dilution, and there has been some significant dilution, but that's slowed down. You had, 2 very important acquisitions that I think are going to be critical, to the long-term success of the company. Anyway, guys, another reason I think it's going to could go up, break through this thing, is there's still a fairly significant short on the stock. Return quite a few, or just returned 200,000 shares today, but there's still 12.5% short interest, 132 million shares short, 75 million shares on loan. So it looks like there's a lot of naked shorting somewhere, but you have to think, if this does break through 16 and starts pushing up toward that $21 level, most of these shorts are going to have to give up and cover. I mean, it's just going to be too costly. The losses are going to be too big at that point, because most of these guys were shorting from 680, 720, these levels. So you're already over a double. You'd be talking about a triple or even a home run. And that's no bueno. Anyway, guys, what's up, Dale P? What's up, Rumi? So if I go bankrupt, that's funny. Yeah, let's Poco. I see them either hanging with those nice Canadian boys. Lurker better be here. No, guys, seriously, Lurker's been just working hard, man. This, types of people. Let's see. I had 2,000 shares, sold them all, 716. Vancouver calls. Would have made more money holding the shares. But, no. Oh well, Brian, that's okay. Good evening, fellow FUD smashers. I will still have my position at 45. How long that will take, coming in a few years. I think that's a good thought, Rumi. I was just watching it until Danny came on. I'm turning back. Danny shuts his trap. That's funny, man. Call this the Reina Rio, my Jorge. Danny, great to see you, hear from you. Wishing you the very best the holiday season. May St. Nick smash the rat army of shorts and market manipulators. I'll hold strong. Awesome. Buy more and smile. Absolutely, Billy Jack. Did you notice the FUD super low price target on Neo was wet push? Yeah, I did notice that. They are everywhere, man. They are everywhere you don't want to be. Excellent. The option. Are you going to give me GME YouTube channel? No, I'm not going to cover GameStop. Notably send a Christmas card, Danny. No, he won't. You definitely won't send me a Christmas card. He might send me a little red wagon, but I won't be able to fit half of one butt cheek in that thing, the way things are going. Bank of Canada dropped interest rates another 50 basis points. Might be itching to grab another line of credit. 20K buy as much. Neo SoFi. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of borrowing money to buy stocks. I try not to trade on margin very much. Sometimes I do, but yeah, I don't know if those are stocks. SoFi, yes. Neo and GameStop, I would not borrow money to buy Neo and GameStop. SoFi, perhaps, because I believe it's safe. I don't think you should borrow money to buy things that are dangerous, that are risky. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to buy things that are risky and stupid, like SMCI, um, do it with house money. Do it with money you can afford to lose. Don't do it with margin, especially high interest margin. It's just not bright, in my opinion. GME changed the cash secured puts and move penny. No cash secured puts. Okay, so you guys are talking GameStop options. So anyway, guys, that's really all I had for today as far as SoFi. High quality catalyst driving growth, some bullish stuff. If you haven't read Steve's article, definitely read it. He only writes like once a quarter after the ER, usually once or twice. So it's definitely worth a read. Max Payne sitting at $15.15. I don't think the stock's going to close below 15. There's just too many buyers. There's too many positive things. Everybody sees now what we've been talking about here, what we've been saying here for the last almost 2 years, is that this business model is going to push out a ton of free cash flow, and everybody sees it now. The market sees it now, and I think it's going to keep going up. Break through this resistance at some point, whether it's with a little pullback or not. I think 21 is coming, and these shorts, the smart ones have already got out of the way. They're covering. The dumb ones are going to cover higher, but I don't think there's going to be a pullback of any significance. And I think when the pullback does come, retracement a little bit, retail is going to rush in and buy that dip. I think that's just a huge difference in the market these days, is information. And that's what I was trying to do with this channel, is just, give people information. So when they're just bombarded with this heavy doses of FUD, trying to get them to dump at the lows or trying to suck them into other stocks, the highs for that matter, is just, pay attention to the chart. It repeats itself. It's not that complicated. It's super predictable a lot of times. And you can make a lot of money if you just kind of take the emotion out and just use logic and try to, do things sensibly. So that's all I was trying to do here. It's not reinventing the wheel or anything. It was like, you don't know anything special. I know that. I just try to look at the facts, the charts, how these things interplay, the shorting, the institutional ownership, the options, and just kind of look at it all and spot opportunities where certain stocks like SoFi are very, very undervalued. And it turned to work out this time. It certainly doesn't always. There's some other stocks that I was like Neo is still down. That's okay. I don't know when it's going to move, but I think it's going to move if everything goes to plan. But people always say, you're crazy when you're recommending stocks off the bottom, because, hey, they'd say, hey, it's down for a reason. I was recommending people buy Tesla in 2017. And everybody said I was nuts. Like, hey, it's going bankrupt. You're crazy. I said, I don't think so. So, you guys got to do you, but I don't think SoFi is overvalued at all. I think it's going to break down this area. Scotty, like I said, get through the 17s, get rid of this chop, and then you see there's kind of a big gap in the chart here where it moves from here to here. And I think it's going to do that again. Move up to the 21 area. Time will tell, guys. Thanks for watching. It's Un Poco Moss. It's Danny Deals. It's Stock Karen for Not a Lurker for Alberto Berti Aviles. Sorry I haven't done much SoFi lately, but let's face it, guys. My job was to pump this turd from 4 and from 7 and to get it up to someplace fair. It wasn't necessarily to, get you guys to buy in at 16. Like, everybody knows about it now. You know what it is. You know what the future looks like. If you think it's a good investment and you're willing to pay here and you're willing to risk a small pullback, more power to you. I think it's still a great company. That's just why I'm not trying to pump because, hey, it's the greatest. It's not the same investment at 16 as it just was at 7 a few months ago. It's just not. The market cap is, more than doubled. So that's why I'm not pounding on the table. I still love the company. I just don't love the valuation as much. But still great thing. Peace, guys. I'm out.